I want to sign up for 82L for casting.
That'd be amazing. Can we please do that?
I feel like my parents would get mad at me
Why?
because I'd literally just be swearing the entire time.
Would you really?
Yeah, basically.
Why?
Well, did you ever hear me when I was casting your game?
Yeah.
What are we playing, by the way?
It's,
1 versus 1.
Apparently Cloud Walrus is playing CM.
why?
Well, did you ever
Play
hear me
CM.
when I was casting your game? No.
Oh, yeah.
What are we
It's
playing?
mid. We already did Shadow Fiend, we did Storm Spirit.
Um,
I would say play Windrunner.
Tinker?
Do Tinker. Yeah, do Tinker.
No. Tinker's disgusting.
I'm actually good. Well,
Tinker, Fate Leader Soldier.
Hero.
Tinker, Fate Leader Soldier. Bye.
Okay, you gotta do casting like I cast, but not like the retarded accent if you don't want to.
Don't worry. I can't do retarded accents.
Absolutely.
What were you trying to do?
I don't know.
Yeah,
And
his
here we
normal
see
voice is a
both.
retarded accent. It's fine.
And here we see on both teams, GG.Schnitzel with a absolutely terrible build. And over on the dire side, yeah, we have Calypsass with the normal build, which is also shit, just mainly because he's a dumb player. But
No, you're doing it wrong. You what you're supposed to say is you see Schnitzel here has a really bad build. He's working up to his potential of really bad builds every game.
oh yeah,
And you have to use the word a lot when you're casting.
this is your captain speaking.
30 seconds to go.
It's funny because
Alright, we've got 30 seconds to battle sitting here. Things are getting intense. Waiting for the creeps to spawn. See who's gonna get the best block. I think this is gonna be a great game, and I think we're gonna see some great plays. Hopefully that we'll see some good plays coming out from both sides here. And there's the horn, and here come the creeps. Let's see who gets the better block.
The battle begins.
Proceed.
So we agreed we're both maxing stats. first,
And
right?
up here on the dire side, we have Calypsis getting a absolutely terrible block just because he's a horrible player. And on the Radiant, you see Schnitzel just being a fucking... on the Radiant here, we just see Schnitzel being a fucking retard. As you can see, the block
Why would you get it south?
as you can see, the block is fairly evident. Schnitzel is quite a retard, and Calypsis is just less so. And we see the terrible build of getting Laser first coming out on the Schnitzel. I think he leveled before he came into lane. And the Calypsis is going with the right build where he gets rockets first, just to fuck up the Schnitzel.
Just to be a jerk, basically.
Just yeah. I have played with him on many occasions, and he just does it because he's a giant dick bag.
Argument there.
He is literally a giant bag of dicks.
And we have a leading 5-1 last hits on the Clips as with a 0 to 0
I'm
and
gonna
0
die.
0 and 0 on the Schnitzel, who is now
Can't
popping,
believe your salve paid
who
off.
has popped both his salve and his clarity at this point, leaving him at somewhat of an advantage.
I hate you so much. Why the hell would you get a salve?
The salve and the clarity paying off at this point. However, Calypsis has his bottle at the 1 minute and 42 second mark, and and Schnitzel has absolutely shit.
Tinkering about.
Bitch.
And now in last hits, Calypsis is leading 7-2. 7 last hits to 2 denies to Schnitzel's 2 last hits and 2 denies. The equilibrium is definitely better on the for Calypsis, but you see Schnitzel wasting a laser on a last hit, which he probably wouldn't have gotten otherwise. And Schnitzel gets an invis rune top.
I hate you. I hate you.
And I mean, what else is there for Calypsis to get but the bounty rune? But he's being smart, so he has hit bottled. And Schnitzel just completely wastes his bounty rune and doesn't get a last hit.
I waste my bounty rune.
I mean, invis rune.
Is this really necessary?
And we have the
It's,
bounty room
2 kills or
popped
first
on
hour, right?
Calypsis.
Yep.
And things are starting to get intense.
Wasn't unqualified.
It looks like he's pushing up. He's got a level into laser and a level into 2 levels into rockets. On both sides, the same builds coming out. Literally the exact same builds, except for Schnitzel has 2 less iron branches. And now going back to last hits, Calypsis has 10 last hits and 2 denies, whereas the Schnitzel has 5 last hits and 2 denies.
Indeed.
Let's look over here at the game stats. The kills deaths ratio is it's fairly intense, 0-0-0 on all sides. Last hits and denies is 12-2
Complete
for Calypsis, and 6-2 is 6-2 for Schnitzel. And we've got some harass here coming out from the Schnitzel, but he's out of mana, so he can't really do much else, considering that he's Tinker. Going down to hero level,
Then it's
we've got a big 5 on the Schnitzel and a 4 on the Calypsis, which is strange because the last hits are leading quite in Calypsis' favor.
proceed.
And there is a bounty rune popped top and a regen rune bottom on the Schnitzel.
Really shouldn't say.
I should say
Going
no.
down to XP per minute, we see on the dire side with Calypsis a 345 fluctuating XPM and a 338 for the Schnitzel, and that's quite a big difference at this stage in the game at the 4-minute and 30-second mark. And things are getting intense because Calypsis got his boots and Schnitzel don't. More harass coming out from the Schnitzel. He could get a kill here, but he's a big pussy and he's not going to go for it.
Such a bad caster compared to me.
Great adventure.
And on the skill build side, on Dire, we've got Calypsis with the 2-3, and on the Radiant side, it is the exact same build, so shit is really boring.
Absolute.
You can see that the gold per minute on Calypsis is much higher at 250 compared to the 180 gold per minute on Schnitzel. Here.
Fascinating. Then it's settled.
More harass coming out, just this shit is getting really boring because it's the same thing over and over again. And still, oh shit.
A beautiful
Stuff-
use of rockets coming
a
out
beautiful
from
use
the
of rockets
Schnitzel.
coming out from the Schnitzel, and he just whiffs them, and now he's out of mana and doesn't even have a block return.
Don't mind if I do.
He has no regen left, but for some reason he buys a fucking ring of regen. Oh no, because for some reason the Calypsis buys a fucking ring of regen. Oh right, for the
Very
solar.
well.
Both of them have
Say so.
oh, things are getting intense as
Don't.
Exactly.
Calypsis gets the best rune that you could possibly get on a team here. Like it helps with pushing, it helps with farming. It is the super rare illusion rune,
Oh, okay.
which he pops right now to try and push out the lane.
Proceed.
Things are getting intense here as the fantasy points on the fantasy point side as
There.
Calypsis is 0.1 fantasy points ahead of Schnitzel
Tinkering about.
at 1.3, whereas Schnitzel is at 1.2.
Positively.
Neither of them have buyback ready, which could be detrimental in the later stages of the game. As some of them as one of them might die at some point if they stop being giant pussies and actually try and go for kills
Tinkering
instead of
about.
just being a dick and standing back and spamming rockets. And we see a pickup of rearm on the Calypsis, whereas the Schnitzel's being stupid and not getting it.
Nice use of rockets.
No argument there.
Both sides have a buyback of 282 gold, and neither of them have that buyback ready, which could end up being a bad situation for one of the two sides.
Exactly.
Considering that Schnitzel has about 45 HP and 35% mana, whereas the Calypsis has 100% HP and 50% mana.
Settled.
The kill deaths ratios are still looking great with 0-0, and we just see another whiffed rockets from Schnitzel, being the dumbass that he always is. Oh, there could be a confrontation at top ring as they're both going for it.
Don't say that!
Oh, first blood comes out from the Calypsis, and that was really not intense at all, as he gets the Invisor and then just hits rockets. And now we see a big change in the kill deaths assists, as we have a 1-0-0 on the Calypsis and an 0-1-0 on the Schnitzel. There's an 11-second cooldown on the Schnitzel, and he might think about buying back, because I don't know, the Calypsis could do some damage.
The fix is in.
Net worth is looking pretty good right now, with the Calypsis at 3,135 and the Schnitzel at 2,070. And now if we go over here to the XP graph, we see it leaning greatly in the side of the Dire at about a 750 XP advantage. More harass coming out, as this is a Tinker game and they're both just spamming rockets. But Calypsis does have the level into rearm, which is going to give him an advantage in the lane. And again, looking at the gold graph, we see about a little more than 1,000 gold advantage on the side of the Dire. And even more rocket harass coming out, and they're just standing on other sides of the river, not even getting last hits, because this is the most boring game I've ever seen in my life. Oh, just barely surviving and just barely keeping his place in this game, despite his great disadvantage at this point. And we see the Calypsis doing some pro strats here, like involving the bottle and the courier. You know, I'm not sure if any of the lower level players have heard of this. And yep, basically what you do is you pick up the bottle with your courier and send it back to base to refill it. And we get a TP coming out from the Schnitzel back to lane, and even more rocket harass. Oh, and a big miss on a creep, missing a deny from the Schnitzel. And the Calypsis is deciding to stay in lane at very low health. This is a bold move. Let's see if it pays off. And now we finally see the rearm pickup on the Schnitzel.
I got that like 4 minutes
Yeah,
ago.
he got it a while ago.
Okay. The items are exactly the same, which continues to make this game boring as fuck.
Screw off.
Now we go to the last hits. Let's go back to the last denies. Oh, Schnitzel caught up. Now they're both at 26 last hits, and even he has 8 denies, whereas Calypsis only has 4, which is gonna possibly lead to an XP advantage, or a comeback on the XP side for Schnitzel, considering that he died earlier, giving
I hate you.
just free XP in lane.
Where are your wards? Where the hell are your wards?
I'm so confused at this point. Because they're both yelling at each other for things I don't even see on the map.
How
There
is...
are no words.
I'm gonna kill myself.
Or what?
How are you? There's no way you're seeing me, you lying piece of shit.
Brody, he doesn't have wards. I don't know.
Aiden's hacking.
No, it's not. No, I'm not.
And we see yet even more rocket harass coming out, giving Schnitzel a bit of time to get one more last hit in lane, because he just sucks at Dota. Looks like he's gonna have just enough mana for one more rocket after the rearm, but he's gonna use his bottle and his soul ring just to use rockets again and again and fucking again, because this is a boring ass game.